And welcome back, everybody. New clues about how Carlos Ghosn pulled off that dramatic escape to Lebanon. A Turkish charter jet company has filed a criminal complaint alleging its planes were used illegally to help Ghosn flee Japan. Internal investigation finding an employee falsified flight records. And the Washington Post is reporting the former Nissan chairman could face new charges. Post says Ghosn may have broken Lebanese laws when he visited Israel. As chairman of Renault and subsequently Nissan, the two countries have been in a state of war for 60 years. Let's bring in former prosecutor in the Bianchi Law Group, criminal defense attorney David Bruno. David, good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl.
What an escape by Carlos Ghosn. Many say he would never have gotten a fair trial, but does this make him look more guilty?
Well, sure. For a criminal defendant, it's never a good idea to flee. I mean, because there could be arguments of consciousness of guilt, forfeiture of bail. I mean, he lost approximately $13.8 million because he fled. And for public perception, I always question that. But here, I mean, the family and he has been public about him not being able to receive a fair trial in Japan. So right now, he's reportedly in Lebanon, and that's pretty much a safe place for him. He's a citizen there. The Wall Street Journal has previously reported that Lebanon was trying to get him there to have a trial there. It'll be interesting to see, are they going to take that same position where he could be tried in Lebanon for the Japan criminal complaint, or are they just going to hold him and maintain a safe place like Snowden in Russia?
I don't know.
Well, I think he could be tried in Lebanon, but this would require the Japanese prosecutors to share documents, to share the evidence they have. I'm not sure Japan is going to be eager to do that. Maybe there are things about this trial and about the management of the company in Japan that they don't necessarily want disclosed, or, you know, quite reasonably, they might say, look, we're prosecuting him here in Japan, and he fled the jurisdiction. We're not going to go allow him to have home court advantage in Lebanon.
Yeah, sure. The situation has changed, though. I mean, previously, when Lebanon had taken that position to get him here and give us the evidence, he was in Japan. Right? So now situation's changed. He's in Lebanon. And I agree with you. How forthcoming is Japan going to be to give the evidence over? Are they going to trust the Lebanon system themselves? But I think I think Japan's in a tough spot because, like I said, because there's no extradition treaty with Lebanon and Japan, he could essentially stay there for the rest of his life. However, his travel will be limited because if he were to come to the United States, which we do have a treaty with Japan, he could be stopped, arrested, and then extradited from this country. Also, who helped in the flight? We know that 7 Turkey people are charged, right? But any others, family members, is his wife involved? Because if there are criminal complaints against anyone else, they're going to have the same travel problems if they go to countries with extradition treaties with Japan.
Right. I mean, Interpol has issued a warrant for his arrest. The Lebanese have not indicated whether or not they will comply with that. But I'd point out just some facts that you as a defense attorney would probably just have a real problem with. I think he was interrogated for 130 hours without counsel. Right. As you pointed out, it's 99% conviction rate in Japan.
Yes.
This does not seem like he would ever have been able to get a fair trial.
Yeah, definitely there are arguments. I mean, that system, that Japan's system has been changed recently. It's gone over to a jury. It's not a jury like the United States. They would pull 6 people from the public to be jurors, as well as 3 professional judges. And still, they needed a majority to prove, and it's proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So on the outside, there are arguments that it is a fair process, but there are arguments, like you said, about the detention. It's very difficult to get bail in that country, and we've seen that in the case here.
Well, it was such an arduous process. Do you think Japan might have wanted him to maybe leave the country? Maybe they looked the other way just because maybe they didn't have as much information on him as one would think. And
not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. The prosecutors forcefully argued for his detention. The prosecutors wanted him detained. It was the judiciary that released him on home arrest, which also goes to a fairness argument for the country's process. If it's so unfair, how did the judiciary actually allow him to leave detention and be in house arrest?
And it's been reported carry around a French passport in a locked case while he was walking around Tokyo. Limited, but walking around.
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
David, it's a fascinating case.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah,
good to see you.
All right.